Like downloads are coming all day about people, places, and situations. And I'll just kind of throw them to the side. Say, no, I hear that. I see that. But no, I'm not going to judge like that. It's like, no, bro, the fact that you run the way you run, God can speak to you a certain way. And a lot of times, again, hindsight 2020, I could look back and say, God dang it, I knew that. I knew the very first time I met that brother, he was full of shit. I knew the very first time me and this sister went out to eat, I knew I should have went a different way. Like something was showing me. But I chose not to look at it, man. Authenticity is a superpower. Hey, these brothers. Man, first thing, man, I want to tell y'all brothers, I love y'all brothers. And that comes from the deepest of deeps, man. And when I say I love y'all brothers, man, I don't tell y'all that enough, man. When I say that, what I mean is like the more I learn to love myself, the more just by default I love y'all brothers. Like a lot of men don't understand the power of seeing each other in each other, meaning having no division. In other words, I don't care who you pray to. I don't care where you go to church at, what you label yourself as, Democrat, Republic, Christian. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about what corner of the globe you're on. I don't care how you pray. I don't care what shade of skin you have. I am you and you are me. And the more I love myself, man, the more just by default I love you brothers, man. And for those that are in the know and that understand universal laws, y'all understand that if we all lock in like that, then there are no mountains we can't move. But that's a whole nother conversation, man. What I want to talk about today, brothers, is something that, I've always known, but I can't say I've always really stood on it, right? And that's really understanding the power of authenticity. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna say this. The quickest way to know if somebody is full of shit, and again, I'm talking romantic relationships, I'm talking about partners, I'm talking about the people you work for, I'm talking about the people you work with, I'm talking about every single person. The quickest way to know if a person is full of shit is if they aren't authentic. And I know that sounds like, so that's kind of a stretch. But you got to understand, man, when we talk about connecting with God, when we talk about the Holy Trinity, when we talk about the first marriage of man, when we talk about authenticity, it's all the same conversation. It's really saying the same thing on different planes of talk. But it's the same conversation. In other words, I'll say it like this. If a person can't be true to themselves, if a person can't be authentic, it's impossible for that person to even know God. Because when I say authentic, really in a long way of saying it, it's really when a person's higher self and lower self become one. It's really when a person finds that singular truth. It's really when, and this is the way you can tell, it's really when a person can be the exact same person in every room. Let's go to the strip club. Let's go to church. Let's go to Juma. Let's go to the day party. Let's go to the funeral. Let's go anywhere. Let's go to the family reunion. Anywhere on the globe. If you can go in some room and then go in another and you're two different people, you're full of shit. You are officially full of shit. And I'm going to tell you this, man. I've drawn a line in the sand, man, where I'll say, you know what? I love my brothers. I love my sisters, man. But if you aren't authentic, but I can't even roll with you anymore. I'm talking about relationships, partners, clients. Hell, I'll refund the money in I'll refund money in a second. Because I understand that anything we talk about, any kind of game I give you, it's really going to go in one ear and out the other if you haven't connected the dots. Like I said in the last video, if you're giving game, if you're giving spiritual wisdom to somebody who hasn't connected to their spiritual self, all you're doing is creating a monster. All you're doing is creating a scenario where, again, relationship, partnership, a job, where you're creating a divide, where you're gassing their ego up. I'm gonna tell you, man, a lot of things we talk about, man, especially y'all brothers in the circle, y'all already know. A lot of things we talk about, we can't even have those conversations with some people. Because if they aren't connected, it's gonna mess their mind up, bro. It's going to literally fry their brains. It's going to literally give them a God complex. Like a lot of stuff we talk about, man, is straight up dangerous, bro. And I'm gonna tell you this, man. The quickest way to know somebody's full of shit is to find out if they're authentic or not. Put them in 3 or 4 rooms, and then put them in a room just with yourself and see if they're all the same person. If they're not, throw them back. Throw them back, right? But this is the thing, brothers. It's to the point now where some people don't even know the real from the fake. Some people don't even know the real from the fake. I love how Guy Finley put it in his book, Secrets of the Immortal Self. Guy Finley, Secrets of the Immortal Self. When Guy Finley was talking about, and he gave a scenario, and he said, you know what, like a lot of people, and he was kind of explaining what I'm talking about. He's like, a lot of people will see, like, for example, the example he used was a lot of people will see celebrities, right? And they're on TV and their jewelry is flashing and they're living a life. And all of a sudden you'll see, boom, they deleted themselves. And people will be just like shocked, clutching pearls, saying, oh man, well, this guy was just doing X, Y, Z. This guy was just living a certain way. And you telling me overnight he just went into a state of depression? You know, and he says, God Finley says that the reason people play that game, like they don't really know what was going on, like they don't really know he was living a double life or she was living a double life, is because everybody is wearing a mask. It's like to even respond to it like that and not act like a person was really living on a different frequency. It's like God said. He said everybody's on the play stage, or however he put it. Everybody's wearing a mask, so everybody plays that game like clutching pearls when somebody moves different. Authenticity, man. I'm gonna tell you, man. It's such a rare thing. Like I know they say, man, that as far as people being like millionaires and billionaires, that percentage of people shrink, right? Then they say something like, the percentage of people that have 6-pack abs is smaller than people that are millionaires. I'd be willing to say that people that are authentic is even a smaller number. I think authentic people are the actual 1%. Because you got to understand, man, that there's a power that comes with that. There's a level of intuition or connection with intuition that comes with that, man, that I didn't really understand, or I understood, but I didn't trust it. Like downloads are coming all day about people, places, and situations. And I'll just kind of throw them to the side. Say, no, I hear that. I see that. But no, I'm not going to judge like that. It's like, no, bro, the fact that you run the way you run, God can speak to you a certain way. And a lot of times, again, hindsight 2020, I could look back and say, God dang it, I knew that. I knew the very first time I met that brother, he was full of shit. I knew the very first time me and this sister went out to eat, I knew I should have went a different way. Like something was showing me. But I chose not to look at it, man. Authenticity is a superpower. You gotta understand that. You gotta understand this, brothers. You gotta understand, for example, like, and I believe I talked about this in my last video. When I talked about creating a bubble around yourself, like you gotta understand when a person connects with source, when a person connects to triad, whatever, and they can create a bubble around yourself. Like when I say a man is single, like his masculine side is what's running his world. His feminine side is what creates a bubble, right? Again, relationships coming together, that's what creates the bubble. That whole dynamic, right? You have to understand that people that aren't authentic, or people that aren't plugged into what we plug into, they have the ability to create a bubble also. But instead of creating a bubble with that spiritual self, with that feminine energy, they create a bubble with the masculine, or they create the bubble with the ego. And you got to understand, man, to create a bubble around yourself with the ego, brother, it's dangerous, bro. It's dangerous, man. Because now instead of living life and seeing the world as the Bible says, as it is in heaven, now you're seeing the world as it is in the eyes of man. And to be honest, now man has become your God, or the way that man is moving has become your God. So now instead of creating your own world with your own desires, with your own likings, with the women that you like, with driving a car that you like, wearing the clothes that you like because it's your heaven, now you're looking at man. Now you're playing the game of comparison. Now you're putting people on a pedestal. That's another way you can tell if people are authentic or not. If they're putting people in tiers, in levels. I got partners, man, that make millions a year. A number of partners that make millions a year. And I got some brothers right now, man, that are trying to figure out how to get the rent paid. I see them no different. I see nobody gets priority. If the phone rings, the phone rings. If I'm on the phone, I'm on the phone. Like when you start seeing the world in tiers and putting people in categories because their car looks a certain way, it has a certain word on the back of it, you full of shit. And again, that doesn't go against what I'm always saying. Let's strive to be the best. Strive to get the biggest crib, fastest car, baddest chick. But if you're looking at the world in tiers, brother, you screwed. You've created a bubble with your ego. You're screwed, man. And you gotta understand, man. That's what this world is really all this world is really trying to tell you to do. Like, you know, if you want to talk about how a man can be robbed of God, if you want to talk about how a man can be robbed of God, it's a man that's fallen victim to the illusion that the world is painted. In other words, a world that's convinced the man not to connect with self, but to compare himself and strive to beat what his brother has. They've robbed you of God, bro. They've robbed you of fulfillment. They've robbed you of peace. You have no idea, man. So to not live an authentic life, brother, is really, man, it's just destruction on so many levels, man. Because you got to understand this. Most people you know, think about this. Most people you know, all they're trying to do is mimic somebody else. How copy? Most of the people you know, all they're trying to do is mimic somebody else. Most of the people you know have no identity, have no connection, or have they aren't walking in their authentic self. Most people you know are trying to dress like other people. They're trying to impress people. They're trying to act and talk and make content like other people. They're trying to sing like other people, rap and dance like other people. This is the way the world works. This is what the television is telling you to do. It's telling you how your relationship should be. How many women do you know that are constructing their relationships in the same model as the housewives of whatever city? You know what I'm saying? How many brothers do you know that want to live a certain lifestyle strictly because this other brother is doing it and it seems like he's winning? It seems like he's fulfilled. That brother you chasing, if he isn't the same person in every room, he's full of shit too, and his life is miserable. I'm telling you, authenticity, man, is a superpower. And again, if our ultimate goal is to find our way back home, if the ultimate goal of living this life is to connect with God, because that's the same thing, you can't possibly connect with God without connecting with self. You can't do it. It's not something soul said. You can't do it. You know what I'm saying? In other words, when the Bible says, when two come together, I shall be there also. If two can't never come together, then God can't be there, bro. So authenticity is everything, man. And I'm gonna tell you this: anybody that lacks it, man, is full of shit, man. And I'll be honest, man. I've been lenient in a lot of areas in life, man. But as I've come to, find deeper levels of self, find deeper, reservoirs of knowledge and understanding on this plane, I'm understanding now, bro, that at least I can only speak for myself. I can't afford to entertain anybody that isn't moving in that energy. I don't care what a person has or what they have on. If they aren't authentic to them, if we can't go from place to place to place to place, and I know who you are, I can't roll with you. And I'm talking about partners I work with. I'm talking about partners I get money with. I'm talking about women I'm with. If you want the same person in every single room, in other words, if I'm dating a sister and she boom, 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 she talking a certain way and that phone ring and all of a sudden she's Becky, voice didn't change up, demeanor didn't change up. If I'm dating a chick, man, and we go to the family reunion, and then we go to your job, and then I go to church with you on Sunday, and you 3 different people, I'm out. Nobody can afford to do that nowadays, man. With the world doing what it's doing, man, with the opportunities that are presenting themselves to us, man, we can't afford to entertain people that aren't vibrating there. That aren't vibrating in that singular truth. That aren't vibrating as close as you possibly can to zero frequency. God state. Can't do it, bro. So how do I do it, so? How do I do it? So I hear what you're saying. And now that I think about it, so I'm not the same person in every single room. I'm not the same person. So how do I fix that? In other words, so I wake up every single day and in front of my kids, I'm Superman. I'm confident in front of my wife or my girl. But I go to my job and I let my shoulders and my neck hang a little bit lower. Because I want to act like I'm borderline scared of them so they don't fire me. You're 2 different people. You know, so I go to church. I go to church on Sunday, man, and I walk around proud. I'm thumping my Bible, man. I'm singing. I'm crip walking in church. But just the night before, man, I was tossing ones at I don't know these strip club names. I was just tossing ones, and I'm not saying don't go to the strip club. If that's your thing, it ain't my thing. But if that's your thing, go to the strip club. But all I'm saying is, if you're going to be a deacon on Sunday, then keep that same demeanor when you're tossing them ones. Keep that same demeanor. Don't change it up. Because now you're full of shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, man, sometimes, man, I hang with my partners, bro, and I'm one way, I'm OG on the block. But when I go to the family reunion, man, I'm speaking different. I don't want my family to see that side of me. You're full of shit. How do you fix it? First thing you have to do, man, is combine your higher and lower self. Combine your higher and lower self. In other words, the limited capabilities you see in this world, you have to merge them with the unlimited capabilities, that Christ self, and live from that energy. Stop chasing what everybody else is doing. Stop trying to wear the same brands everybody is wearing. Stop trying to drive the same vehicle and visit the same places. Be you. Sit down for 5 minutes, sit down for a whole weekend and say, you know what? If I was living on an island by myself, what would life be like? If I was on an island by myself, what kind of woman would I want in my life? If I was on an island by myself and didn't nobody know what I had going on, if it were no social media, what kind of vehicle would I desire? What kind of clothes would I want to wear? What kind of music would I listen to then? In other words, who's the authentic me? And then you step into that version of yourself, man. You step into it and you close the door on anything else. Crucify that old self. Crucify that fake ass version of yourself, man. I'm gonna tell you this, bro. You might think you know fulfillment. You may think you know fulfillment. You aren't fulfilled until you can be the same person in every single room. Like there's no greater high than that. Because now you're literally walking with God 24 hours a day, which is the ultimate fulfillment. And the thing is, the fact that a lot of people don't have that, they're chasing that. And it goes back to the same conversation we always have. People chasing God in vices. When to be honest, all they have to do is be themselves. And that fulfillment they seek, it finds them, is a part of them now. But not only that, man, the superpower part of it, brothers, is is really what it grants you, man. And it grants you. In other words, when two come together, God be there. God is there also. It grants you the ability to see the world as God sees it. And of course, we can talk about, brotherly love, man, because now I understand in the Bible when the messenger was saying, hey, now you say you connected to God, right? Jesus said, y'all say y'all connected, right? But when your brother was locked up, you wasn't writing your brothers. When your brother light bill wasn't paid, when your brother water wasn't running, when your brother transmission was doing that thing, were you there for that brother? Or were you tossing ones at the club? Were you tossing ones at the club and buying bottles when your grandmama and them were trying to get her meds? When your partner was going through a hard time? You know what I'm saying? I understand what that means now, man, because once you see the world through the lens of God, you can't not operate in that energy. So you see the world as God sees it. And once you put that God energy out, again, the universal law is that God energy comes back to you. So that's one side of it, man. But at the same time, you get to see the bullshit in everybody. Because I'm gonna tell you this, man. You can see, you can, the thing is, when you're connected to this, you can see the bullshit in people. You can see the bullshit in politics. You can see the bullshit in your boss when he come and telling you why they couldn't give you a raise, but they gave somebody else a raise. You can see the bullshit when your girls say, oh, well, this is just the partner texting me. Oh, I don't know why. You can see the partner. You can see the bullshit when your partners want to show brotherly love, but when it's just one-on-one, they want to talk shit about everything. You can see it lifts the veil, bro. It lifts the veil on life. But what I'm understanding now, man, is it's a matter of me. Now that I understand it, it's a matter of me. Like I said, when I first started this video, I've always understood it, but now I have to stand on it. And standing on it is knowing that when that intuition comes, understanding that it's a superpower. Understanding that it's God showing me. Don't turn and act like you don't see a certain thing. Call a spade a spade. If your partner's full of shit, tell him. Or just cut his ass off. Cut her off. Call situations as they are, man. Again, brothers. One of the greatest superpowers we have, man, because life is all about just really, and I'll say discovering the hacks, but really just discovering deeper levels of knowledge. Like I always say, man, what my mantra is, what I live by is, there are no miracles, only higher levels of understanding. And I'm telling you, man, one of the first doorways to get into that understanding is simply being authentic, brothers.